You on?
Yep.
Is it on? People are strolling in a little late.
Huh? Late? Yep, fine. Just gonna keep falling.
I'm gonna grab one too.
I'm gonna need it.
You're on, just so you know.
Yep. Ready?
And then for announcements, let's ask maybe Mark Lazarus. He's good at reading it. Sorry. Okay.
Ready to go? Let's get started. Yes. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to everyone. It's good to see you all here this evening, and Shabbat Shalom to those joining us on live stream as well. We welcome you as part of this congregation. We are going to begin this evening with the singing of Hine Matov, page 10 in the Siddur, in the prayer book. How good, how pleasant it is for all of us to be here together.
Hine matov manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
Page 6. We'll read responsive sections. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship.
May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness and harshness.
May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
We'll continue on page 12 with Lechuna Ranana.
Lechuna Ranana, L'Adonai, Nariya L'Tzur Yishenu, Nekadma Fanav B'Todah, Bizmirot Nariya Lo.
And on the following page, page 13, we'll sing Shir Ladonai.
Yalai la la
Yalai yalai lalai lai yalai lalai lai yalalai yalalai yalai lalai lai yalai lalai lai yalai lalai lai yalalai yalalai yalai lalai lai yalalai yalalai yalai lalai lai yalalai. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shir Ladonai, Shir Chadash,
Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai baruch shemo, Basru miyom liyom Yeshuato, Sapru v'goyim kivodo, B'chol ha'amim nifleotav, Ki gadol Adonai, Umulal me'od, Norahu, Al kol Elohim, Yalai, Yalai, Lalai, Yalai, Lalai, Yalai, Lalai, Yalai, 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 Lalai, Yalai, Lalai, Yalai, Lalai, Yalai, 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 Lalai, Yalai, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. We'll turn back to page 2 for lighting of Shabbat candles. I'd like to invite Regina Palacios to lead us in the blessing and lighting.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav, b'tzivanu lechanim l'Hashem Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. Page 15, we'll continue with Mizmor Shiru.
Yalai, lalai, lai, oh, yalai, lalai, lai, oh, yalai, lalai, lai, oh, yalai, lalai, lai, oh. Mizmor shir l'Adonai shechadash ki niflaot asa hoshia lo yemino uzro hakodsho. Yalai lalai lai oh, yalai lalai lai oh, yalai lalai lai oh, yalai lalai lai oh.
And page 17, we'll continue with the singing of Romemu.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho.
And page 20 and 21, we'll continue with Lecha Dodi. As always, we'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. I invite you during the last verse to stand if you'd like and face the doorway to symbolically greet the Shabbat bride. And those watching on live stream, feel free to stand and face the doorway to your room as well during the last verse.
Yalla la 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 lecha dodi, yalla la 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 likrat kala, yalla la 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 pnei Shabbat, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Yalla la 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 lecha dodi,
יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה 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 פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה.
שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשמו תפארת ולתחילה. יאללה לה לה לך דודי, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה 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 פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. יאללה לה לה לך דודי, יאללה לה לה לקראת כלה, יאללה לה לה פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. יאללה לה לה לך דודי, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה 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 פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה וצהלה, תוך אמונה עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, יאללה לה לך דודי, יאללה לה לה לקראת כלה, יאללה לה לה פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה.
And on page 23, we'll continue with Mizmor Shir.
מזמור שיר
ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך ארנן. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
Chatzi Kaddish is found on page 26.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו
Amen.
יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקדושה.
Bריחו.
לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה,
תושבחתה
ונחמתה, תמירן בעלמה ואמרו.
Amen. Page 28. Please rise for Baruch.
Ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed.
And those who wish to sit, please do. If you wish to remain standing, please do as well. We'll continue in Hebrew on page 30. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim v'chochma poteach she'arim uvitvuna mishane itim umachalif et hazmanim umisader et hakochavim v'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono bore yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or uma'avir yom umevi layla umavdil ben yom uvein layla Adonai tzvaot shemo el chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. And we'll continue with Ahavat Olam, page 32.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, נגע יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. אוהב עמו Israel.
Those who wish to rise for Shema, please do so, or else please remain seated if that is your choice.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha v'chol nafshecha v'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh Asher Anochi Mitzavecha Hayom Alevavecha Vishinantam Levanecha V'dibarta Bam V'shivtecha V'eitecha U'lechtecha V'aderech U'shokbecha U'vkumecha U'kshartam Leot Al Yadecha V'hayu Letotafot Bein Einecha U'chtavtam Al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Emet.
Page 41. Sing the song of people joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles and earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children in the generations to come, the song of a land once ravaged by war, now quiet and content, for soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Mi Chamocha is on page 40.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh Nora tehilot osef eleh Nora tehilot osef eleh Malchutecha ra'u vanecha Bokei hayam livnei Moshe u'Miriam Ze'eli anu ve'amru Ze'eli anu ve'amru Adonai Yimloch le'olam va'ed Adonai Yimloch le'olam va'ed ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
And we'll continue with Hashkivenu, which is found on the laminated card at the top.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Amen.
And we'll now turn to the joyous nature of Shabbat as we sing V'Shamru together, page 44. Please join with us.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
And we'll continue with Tefillah, starting on page 46 and the following pages in Hebrew. Please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
And we'll continue silently through page 59. When you are done, please be seated. We'll continue together on page 59, reading at the top. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulecha na'eh lehodot. Page 60, a prayer for peace, Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon, lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol eit u'v'chol sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam.
Take a moment now for individual silent prayer and reflection.
Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Yase shalom, yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Yase shalom, Yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, Yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, Yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, Yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
A prayer of healing for loved ones, Mishaberach, Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, v'imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, v'yivarech v'yiraped kol cholei Yisrael, v'et kol cholei Adam. May God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal all those who are in need of healing. On this Shabbat, we think especially of Pam Hersenberg, Greg Williamson, Marion Gaval, Al Brewers, Richard Allison, Barry Johnson, Alan Webb, Beth Freger, Byron Block, Martin Arnold, Marianne Helen Clements, Pam Pace, Alan Richard, Eugene Dropkin, Fernando Casillas, Doris Bernal, Jose Carreno, Naomi Harris, Jenny Engelbrecht Barbarino, Megan Lagasse Vanderlei, Marjorie Gilberg, Amy Jackson, Diana Fernandez, David Greenberg, David Priceman, Selma Szymanski, Faye Barnett. If anyone has a name or name of someone who is sick or injured in need of healing you'd like to mention, please do so as I look in your direction. And those watching on live stream, feel free to mention names at this time as well.
Robert Harrison. Howard Kovacs. Justin. Jasmine Harris. Stevie Fenton.
V'tishlach lahem refuah shlema, refuat hanefesh, refuat haguf, v'nomar amen. May God grant all of them, those whose names we have read and names we have mentioned, those in our own hearts and minds, a complete and speedy healing, a healing of body and a healing of spirit, and we say together, Amen. And I can join again together singing Mishaberach, prayer, song of healing for loved ones, page 253.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mikor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
So as a former English major in college and a lifelong learner, I know the somewhat bittersweet joy, as many of us do, of reading and especially of finishing a book. In a sense, the same principle holds true when reading the Torah. When we finish reading one of its books, it is a special moment. Chazak, chazak v'nitchazek. Let us be strong and strengthen one another. These are the words we recite as we conclude the book of Bamidbar, Numbers, this Shabbat, with the reading of the double portion, Matot Maseh. The words which traditionally are recited as each book of the Torah is completed. We acknowledge that we are strengthened through the study of Torah and have gained strength by completing a section of study together. And we also hope to use such strength to further our studies, to continue our reading and learning. And Jewish tradition encourages us to anticipate the next book of the Torah as we finish the current one. And on Simchat Torah, when we finish the final book, Devarim, Deuteronomy, what do? We say, Chazak, Chazak, let us be strong. And then, of course, we immediately start again with the reading of Bereshit, Genesis, the beginning of the Torah. We demonstrate that the study of Torah has no end and that there is always more to learn by reading it again. The Torah is more than a book or a series of books. It is part of our being, a treatise that captures our imagination, connects us with characters from another time and place, and instructs us on how to live. I view the Torah not as literal fact, but as a divinely inspired document written by human beings, which exposes us to the best of human experience of encountering God and the lessons we can glean from it. The strength we gain from such a perspective comes not from the traditional religious belief of hearing God's immutable word, but from our interpreting lessons from the past with a respect for tradition, balanced by a willingness to find current meaning in our lives. Yes, we never stop teaching and reading Torah because its words are eternal. Yet we also do not stop because as Jews and as human beings, individually and collectively, we are continually evolving and growing. Our learning, therefore, never ends, and we can always derive new insights from what is seemingly the same text we have read before. I want to share one personal example. 40 years ago this fall, I began a journey, heading off from Toronto, my only known home at the time, to London to begin rabbinical school. And I realize as I write and speak these words, the significant symbolism of feeling 40 years later that I have found a promised land with this congregation. And as my amazing new friend and colleague Stephanie said to me following last week's Shabbat service, it feels right. And I couldn't agree more. So let's go back, though, 40 years. I was young, alone, and lonely. It was a challenging first year before I fully settled in. Over Passover that year, I went home to Toronto for the Seders. And it was great to be in a familiar and loving environment. And then we got to the words, "Be kind to the stranger, for you were strangers in Egypt." And for the first time, these words had new meaning to me. For the first time, I truly knew what it felt like to be a stranger. And I vowed then to help welcome new people in my congregation and in general. Now, that is one important story from my own experience. And I invite you now or in the future to reflect on your own experiences. When has the Torah had personal meaning for you? Although the Torah may tell us that revelation, the giving of this sacred document, was a one-time event occurring at Mount Sinai, modern thinking broadens our interpretation, teaching us about progressive revelation. That the Torah was not given as a singular occurrence, but is continually being revealed to us whenever we gather to study its teachings. Its words potentially speak to all of us on some level, but are perceived by each generation and each individual in a different and unique manner. Chazak, chazak v'nitchazek. Let us be strong and strengthen one another. As we finish the book of Numbers this Shabbat and prepare to continue with the next book, Deuteronomy, let us open our ears, hearts, and minds to the many interpretations from which we can learn, thereby continuing every day to build on the Torah's teaching and values. And may we truly gain insight and strength from the power of study and the wisdom of our collective community. Shabbat Shalom. And now, speaking of collective community, it's time to share our individual and thereby collective joys of this past week on this Shabbat. So I invite anyone who has something joyous to share, big or small, to share. And I want to invite each person as they say it, if you would like to come forward and help open the ark after everyone has shared. Yes?
I sold my artwork at UniCon last weekend and had a really great time and did very well. And I also sold my first set of tabletop decks.
Nice.
Mazel tov. That's wonderful news.
Come on
Come
up.
on up. You deserve to come up and open the ark. Who else has some good news? We have to have more good. Last week we had so many.
I know.
Yes.
Last week I was walking through the woods and I received a revelation that God was moving and that He was bringing an old and a new covenant together in a marriage. And He said to me, "I am the Spirit of God." And I didn't know what He meant by that because I didn't know how to receive that. Was He saying it literally or figuratively? Did He mean something else by it? And the very next morning, I woke up about 5 o'clock in the morning, and He was hovering above me. He said, "I am the Spirit of God." I knew that He meant He is God. And I knew when He said, "I am," that He was talking about God. And that revelation just has changed me. Now I'm seeking Him, and obviously I'm here, and for the first time I'm seeking. I want to understand what He means. But I'm looking forward to it. As I was driving here tonight, I had a stroke 3 years ago. And from that, I'm disjointed. I have joints that won't sit in place because of it. And as I was coming here, He made me feel that I was being united with the family, my brothers and sisters, meaning Israel. And I believe in God with my whole heart, and I believe that what He's saying is that I'm disjointed because His body, His children are disjointed. And as He brings them together into one family, that I would be healed. And so I'm waiting for that time.
That's wonderful, and that's a very profound revelation that you had personally, and it sounds very much in the tradition of
many of the prophets over centuries and millennia who had that same kind of experience and encounter with God, and also weren't sure at first what to make of it, and spent many hours and years figuring it out. We're glad you're here with us on this following Shabbat to become connected with this community. And if you would like to come up, we invite you to do so to help open the Ark. Thank you for sharing that with us. Any other?
I have one.
Yes.
I'm grateful to all of you, but I'm particularly grateful this evening to my friends Gwen and Lisa for helping with the oneg this evening so that I don't have to do it myself, and for Mark, who's going to help with the streaming tonight. So thank you all. I appreciate it. I'm going to go
Thank you.
open the Ark.
Yes, please do. Any other? Yes.
I've been here for 4 years, and I've moved around a lot, and there are many places where I've been that have not been so welcoming. You know, you were talking about this, and so I also know where I've been welcomed, and where I really have to work at it. And the past few weeks, I've just been realizing how much the sisterhood women and their husbands have just
Or wives.
been so loving and welcoming to me, and not just the sisterhood, but other groups that I've been part of, like KGM, or where there's been many different people who are not Jewish, and it's been really beautiful. It feels really good, like these two, these three, just here, there, and other people.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And that really, to me, is what the essence of community is, and the essence of a congregation, is to be a place where people feel connected, as you mentioned a moment ago, and as I think many of us feel, and why we're here tonight. We seek, we certainly seek some spiritual uplifting on Shabbat, but we also seek community. And we get that spiritual uplifting or any other kind of re-energizing through community. And it's so important, and I thank you for sharing that. And I hope many others will feel that way if you don't already. I want to have multiple entryways into congregational life for people to feel connected with one another. So if you'd like to come up and share in the joy, please do. Yes.
About 40 years ago this week, I converted to Judaism. And my former husband was Jewish, as was his mother and dad were very, very religious Jews. And his father was not real forthcoming with me. And, he didn't like the idea that his son was marrying a non-Jew. And I found a lot of comfort in him after I had converted. And I have found a lot of the Jewish community very welcoming, like Carol has. And it doesn't matter that I'm Jewish or I'm not Jewish or I'm, purple and pink polka dots. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. I'm being welcomed tonight, and I love that about this religion. And it has enveloped me as I have grown with it. And I appreciate that so much.
Well, I'm very glad to hear that, and you're certainly very welcome here, as is everyone. And we say, as our tradition says, that God tells us, my house shall be a house of prayer for all people. And that means all people. So we do welcome everyone who comes in peace and wants to be connected with our community. So yeah, please do join us up here. Any other? Yes.
My best granddaughter, Sarai Calderon, they are the ones who visited me from Germany. Mm-hmm. She's only 9 years old, and she went into a competition in Miami, and she won 2 gold medals.
Wow.
And the third gold medal she won today in Richmond, Virginia. I am so happy.
That's wonderful. You must be so proud. Well, thank you for sharing that. It's very happy news. Would you like to come up again and join us?
There's I don't know exactly, but there's stages because she's only 9 years old. Right?
Well, if anyone else has something in their hearts that you're thinking of, please, be up here in spirit as we open the ark. I ask everyone to please rise. We'll turn to page 282 for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגוי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבהי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, והארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Thank you. Page 291. It is hard to sing of oneness when the world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone, and naught but memory can fill the emptiness their passing leaves behind. But memory can tell us only what we were in company with those we loved. It cannot help us find what each of us alone must now become. Yet no one is really alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and words, and what they did is part of what we have become. We do best homage to our dead when we live our lives more fully, even in the shadow of our loss. For each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world, and each one is the breath of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one whose life now ended brought us closer to the source of life, in whose unity no one is alone, and every life finds purpose. We remember now for Shloshim, those who have passed away recently, Dylan Jacob Herzenberg, Sandra Nierenberg-Robbins, aunt of Iris Palazezi, and great-aunt of Ilana, and Fritz Kirsch, husband of Sarah Ladelpha Kirsch. We remember also for Yartzeit, the anniversary of death, Stanley Garfine, Rosa Istrail, Harry Shaw, Beatrice Garfine, Miriam Colvin Friedman, Helen Cross Myers, Rita Lenkway, Kurt Lenkway, Sydney Gordon, Carol Byerly Hall, Dora Rachel Glickman, Anna Levinson Castor, Pearl Novi. If anyone has the name or names of any others for Shloshim, a recent death, or Yahrzeit, anniversary of death, please feel free to mention the name or names as I once again look in your direction. And those, again, watching on live stream, feel free to mention at this time as well.
Julius Lazarus.
For those names that we have read and the names that we have mentioned, for those in our own hearts and minds and those who have no one to say the words of Kaddish for them, we turn in the prayer book to page 294. There we find words of Kaddish praising God for the gift of life and the precious memories we have of loved ones. It's our custom to stand together, if you choose, in support of those in mourning as we recite these words together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'amei al-maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei d'kedusha b'richu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, all Israel, and all of humanity, and we say together, Amen. Please be seated. And I'd like to invite Mark Lazarus to come forward for announcements this evening.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat morning service with Rabbi Sidlovsky is at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Please join us. Our Temple Youth Group Party are scheduled to participate in Social Justice Seminar in February of 2024 with the Religious Action Center in Washington, D.C. As the cost of flights, food, housing, and the seminar itself adds up, we're asking for your help to make this trip happen. All funds raised will be used to help cover the students' required fees. Please see the link in the Temple Times to contribute. Contact Maura Stephanie or Maura Leah with any questions. Join us for a crossover event on July 22nd. Game night meets Havdalah. Games start at 5, Havdalah and hot dogs at 6, followed by more games. We love to have people at our game night and game days. And by the way, every Wednesday from 1 to 4 is game day. Please attend if you can. Mark your calendars for open house and the first day of religious school on Sunday, August 13th. Come along and catch up with everyone and find out about all the great happenings at Temple. On Friday, August 18th at 7 p.m., we'll have our backpack service. We're asking everyone to please collect school supplies for Bond Elementary School. And we'll celebrate the start of school with a special back-to-school blessing for students on the Bima. For a list of supplies needed, please click on the flyer in the Temple Times. Crayola crayons are always welcome. If you would like to sponsor an oneg in celebration of a simcha or in honor of a loved one, please contact Alex Molina. There are several ways to contribute to an oneg Shabbat, including the new babka sponsorship. Everyone loves a babka. For details on everything going on at Temple, please read your Temple Times or check Facebook and Instagram. There is something for everyone at Temple Israel. Again, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. And just to add, next Shabbat, we have a very special Shabbat service with our board installation. We hope that not only board members and their families will come, but many members of the congregation and maybe some visitors to support our wonderful temple leadership and help make the beginning of this year very special. So please do come for that. In addition, we are having a baby naming next week at the beginning of the Shabbat service, so come for that. It's going to be a fun evening. And one little clarification, it's Havdalah and then hot dogs, not Havdalah and hot dogs. just to be very clear. We're not having hot dogs during Havdalah. Right? Right. Punctuation's very important. Yeah. Right. But yes, so we are going to now have our closing song, which is Adon Olam, page 321.
We're hoping for some strong echoes in the congregation. Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
B'terem Kol,
Tzir Nivra,
Tzir Nivra,
Leit Natzah,
Leit Nasa,
B'chef Sokol,
B'chef Sochol,
Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'yacharei Kiklot HaKol, Levado Yimok Nora Adon Olam, Vehu Haya, Vehu Hoveh, Vehu Yeh B'tifara Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Leit Nasa, B'chef Sokol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Vehu Echad, Ve'ein Sheni, Lehamshilo Leachbira Adon Olam, Beli Reishit, Beli Tachlit, Velo Ha'oz Ve'hamisra Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Leit Nasa, Lechef Sochol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Vehu Eli, V'chai Goali, V'tzur Chavli V'naitzah Adon Olam, Vehu Nisi, Umanosli, Menat Kosi V'yom Mekra Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Leit Nasa, B'chef Sokol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, B'yado Afkid Ruchi, V'tishan Va'ira Adon Olam, V'im Ruchi Giviyati, Adon Ali V'lo Ira Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Leit Nasa, B'chef Sokol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam. Adonai Oz Le'emo Yitin, Adonai Varech et Amova Shalom. God, we ask that you give us strength and that you allow us as we continue our study together and come together as a congregation to help use this strength to build a community and a world of shalom, of wholeness and of peace. Amen. Amen.
Use the Kiddush after benediction. And we'll continue with Kiddush and Hamotzi and conclude with it. Page 5 for Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lemaaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikohamim, ve'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
L'chaim. We'll join in Hamotzi. Oh, thank you.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. יישר כוח. Last week I probably wasn't even thinking about it.
I'll learn your harmonies and your.
That's fine. No, that,
I will learn not to do that musical share without a guitar again.
well, if there are any you're not sure of, let me know, because I'm used to doing them a cappella.
Just forgot like how low that one was.
All right, this can go